Alrighty, we're back. Happy Wednesday. I hope you all had a great couple of weeks. I'm sorry that I've missed you. Let me just check to make sure that we are live and that you can hear me and all that good stuff. So hold on. Where did we go? Oops. Of course, I had it all set up, ready to check. So for those of you who are joining me live today, give me a hello, a heart, a thumbs up when you join. I'd love to know that you're here, so that way I can feel like I'm not just talking to a void. Let's see. There we go. Awesome. Great. So I may be over here looking to my left because I don't always see comments on my computer screen ahead of me. So if you see me looking over to my left, that's where it is. I want to see that people are joining. So hello. I'm Lori Fisher. For those of you who don't know me, I am the owner and operator of Wreath & Comb Interiors, a full-service real estate staging business in the Philadelphia suburbs. And hello, Mazurek. How are you? So excited to see you. Yeah, give me a hello, a hi, a heart, a thumbs up, whatever. When you join in, I'd love to know that you're here. So each one of these training sessions, for those of you who haven't joined in at this point, these are about the learning lesson, the lessons that I've learned along the way that I want to pass along to my fellow stager professionals that are looking to grow a business. I've been really fortunate to have some great training and mentors in my life to help me grow my real estate staging business using both in-person and online strategies. And so I love just sharing those with our community. So if you hear anything today that resonates with you, definitely let me know. Give me a little shout out, a little, hey, that's a little piece of gold, a little piece of wisdom there, so that I know that this is the kind of stuff that you want to learn more about. So today we're actually talking about what you can do to prepare for 2021. And there's tons of stuff we can be doing in the month of December to prepare for 2021, but I'm going to help you be a little more strategic about how you use this time, because for a lot of us, hello, Misha, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hello. For those of you, so I want us to be more strategic, right? Because for a lot of us, the real estate industry kind of begins to slow down in the months of December and January. People are much more focused on holidays. Kids are, vacations are happening. This year it's a little weird because kids have been remote, but I want us to be really more dialed in with what we are spending our time on. So the first thing, for those of you who don't know me, I like to talk a lot about how our brain operates and how it can help. Understanding our brains more effectively can help us achieve more. And I just want to share a little bit of background, which I think is incredibly cool about our brains, that researchers at Stanford University in 2016 found out that the brain centers that we use to actually navigate to a physical location, so the grocery store, your friend's house, whatever, those same brain centers are in high effect when we actually just visualize a goal. So they're in like the more abstract. And when we have a goal in mind, when we light up those centers in our brains, the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, it helps us be more successful at actually achieving our goals. So like, that's kind of mind-blowing, right? So the same brain centers that you use to get to the grocery store so easily and effectively are the same brain centers that you use to achieve any goal-oriented task that you have, whether it's abstract or an actual physical location. So I want you to keep that in mind, because sometimes when we're working toward a goal, a lot of what we do doesn't feel like it actually is working. And I like to think of our business growth kind of like weight loss journey. We don't often see the results of our actions for a deferred amount of time. So I just want you to know that if you are setting a goal in your business, that your ability to achieve it once you've actually identified what it is and you visualize it is so much higher. You just have to be prepared for that uncomfortable middle where you're not quite sure if what you're doing is actually making a difference in your business. So with that bit of background, I think it's important for us to know that with every little step that we take, our brain loves it, our brain fires on it, and we will be more successful. But let's dive in. Let's dive in to what we can be doing in 2021. And the first is obviously setting a goal for ourselves, right? So setting the goal for ourselves, this could be a revenue goal, it could be a service delivery goal, number of clients, number of, new people onboarded, like we have goals within our business about number of new realtors that we want to be onboarding each month in our business. We have revenue goals. We actually have daily and weekly revenue goals in my business because it helps my brain understand if we're on track or not and where we need to be more effective. So the first thing is identifying what that goal is for you in the beginning of 2021. And it can be very specific. It can be about growing one specific service, and we'll talk about that in a minute. It could be a much larger goal, like you want to hit a certain revenue goal. And from that, then you need to begin to map out the math to get you there, right? So that's the first thing. And listen, your brain's going to tell you that's too hard, and you may want to do things like organize your inventory, organize your desk, clean out your inbox, buy new inventory, any of those other things that are, those are also important to getting your business ready for spring. But we want to make sure that we're staying on track with like revenue, money producing activities. And that's typically the activities that you'll do around marketing and networking and getting out there. So we're going to talk about those three very strategic things. You're going, oh, hi guys, I see more people jumping in. It's good to see you. So like I said, your goal each week is to spend time allocated toward doing money generating activity, because what we want to do is we want to move you on that continuum that I talk about, the continuum from getting noticed, which is really easy, getting new clients, which is really easy. It's the getting known part in the middle where all of these marketing activities help, because that is the hardest part of the equation. It's very easy for you to get in front of people and have them notice you as a new stager in the area. And it's very easy once you've gone through the path of getting known to getting new clients, really easy. But that getting known part is really challenging, and that's where we have to be staying in front of people all the time. So you can use the slower times in the real estate staging business to work on the getting known part. So whether it's over the summer months for you, wherever you are, whether it's over the winter months, wherever you are, or just any other natural downtime in your local real estate market. So here are the three things that I want you to focus on in this month of December. And I'll talk about each one of them a little bit more individually. But the first thing is I want you to look to your past, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that in just a minute. I want you to think about creating a freebie. If you don't already have a free offer, creating a freebie, and we'll go into more details about that. Actually, we'll be talking about that next week in greater detail on the training session. And batching your marketing content. All of those three things are really doable, really actionable, really manageable, and you can get started on them in the month of December, even if you're planning, Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and all that other good stuff, okay? So the first thing is we're going to look to our past, and looking to our past is really important because it gives us some clues about what might be working for us in the marketing of our business. So what do I mean by this? I want you to look to your past and write this down. I want you to write down any of the actions and activities that you took that led to money generation in your business, revenue generation, new client onboarding. So was it networking for you? Was it speaking? Was it social media, blogging, emails? What was it? Or was it friends? In the beginning of our business, a lot of times it's our friends and our personal network, right? So who and where were you most successful in getting your newest clients? Because if that is a point that you've already gotten success, then you can replicate that. And it's the easiest path for you because you've already found success in it. So you know what it looks like. So for me in the beginning of my business, the two drivers for me were my personal network and networking. I was involved in a networking group for years that met weekly. And that to this day, I can look at pretty much every one of my clients and know that those clients came from that networking activity. That was extraordinarily important to the business growth that I experienced. The third thing that actually really worked for me was presentations in offices, but presentations combined with creating a freebie, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. So you want to identify those, and you want to think about how can you leverage that more? How can you do that more? So one of the things that I knew back when I discovered that networking, speaking, and my friend network were really important to me, I would start arranging coffee chats just to reconnect with people. Now you can do those virtually via Zoom or FaceTime or something like that, but I would just have a check-in. What are you doing? What's going on in your business? Is there something I can do to help you? Somebody I can introduce you to? That kind of thing, so that you're staying in front of people, you're staying in front of them in a positive way, but just you're continuing to nurture the relationship. So much of what we do in our staging business is all about nurturing our relationships with people. So find those success points and think about how you can lean into those. The next thing is creating the freebie. And one of the reasons why I say presentations became very effective me once I had a freebie in place is because up until the point of having a free offer, which I wasn't giving away in a presentation, I wasn't staying in touch with people. I wasn't doing the getting known work. What allowed me to get known was my free offer. So one of the things that we want to be doing in our businesses always is growing our personal network, especially because for those of us that are geographically based, right, we've got to meet people in our zip codes. But the other thing we want to do is continue to stay in front of those people. And the only way to really stay in front of those people in a really meaningful way is online. And most important, through your email list. You can stay in touch with them through social media, but if social media goes away tomorrow, the algorithm changes and you aren't getting in front of your people like you normally are, really your email list is where it's at. And by creating something free that you can give to people in exchange for their email address enables you to do that. So when we're thinking about creating a freebie, and like I said, we'll go into more detail about this next week, but if you want to get a jump start on this even a little bit more and get a little more information, if you download the Profitable Staging Business Starter Kit, and the link is in the comments or the caption above, rethinkhominteriors.com/kit. That has a freebie guide that can walk you through some of the steps and thought process and begin to get your creative juices flowing about what you could do. But what you want to think about is, what do your clients need from you? What are some of the answers you can solve for them right away? And it could be in the form of a checklist. It could be a tutorial. It could be we have a supplies list that we give to people, all of the moving supplies you could possibly want, and links through Amazon and things like that. Maybe it could be moving labels, so, something that's free, printable, downloadable, that kind of thing. You want to be able to offer those because when you give a presentation or when you have a phone conversation with a prospective new client, you want to offer them something free in exchange for their email address. So I've talked about before with, everybody, I've got the freebie, the kit, which is a download. That is one of those, an example of that. My book I turned into an ebook. One of the other things that we do is we offer, we send out a blast of all of our new listings to our agents who want to be on that list. And so that is very valuable for realtors who are starting to grow a business. They have a lot of buyers, so they're looking for people who are selling houses. So if we can share that information with them, that's a value. They're willing to give me their email address. I can now stay in touch with them. So these are ways that you can use kind of free offers in order to grow an email list. And that has become very valuable to our business because we're able to share who we're working with, how often we're working with them, what are the services, any updates that we have. And that really accelerated my growth when I understood that. I was finally able to be in touch. Oh, there's my sister in the background, everybody. I'm at my mom's house. So you want to work on creating your freebie. A great tool to use if you don't, if you want to have a design, don't want to pay a designer, is go to Canva. I talk about it all the time. Canva. Beautiful templates, a really easy way to do it. If you download the Profitable Staging Business Starter Kit, that was all done by me in Canva using one of their templates. It can be a little bit addicting. So, so it could be a non-money generating activity for some of you if you're not careful, because for me it could be. So that's the next thing you want to do. And then the cool thing is, once you've created that free lead magnet, you can, or freebie, free irresistible offer, whatever you want to call it, you can use it everywhere. You can use it, like I said, in your presentations, on your website, when you do a get acquainted call with a new client. You can put it at the end of your blog. You can put it in in your email signature. There are so many places where that free thing can go that will help you grow your email list over time with people who you want to stay in touch with to offer your service to. So definitely work on your freebie in the month of December. And the last thing is, so we've got looking to the past to identify where your successes were, so where you wanted to lean into and try to start lining things up for the spring and for January, because everybody is motivated and new goals. So looking to your past, creating your freebie, and then batching your online marketing content. So even though you have maybe a geographically based business, you can use online marketing in the form of email and social media for that getting known portion of the continuum, right, to getting the new clients. And today people are more distracted than ever. They need more interaction than ever. They need more touch points than ever. So if you keep showing up in their inbox, in their Facebook feeds, in their Instagram stories, or whatever it is that you choose to use, they're going to remember you as the expert. You're going to be able to position yourself better. You're going to be able to develop that know, like, and trust factor that is so important to actually someone taking the step to becoming a paying client. So there are really 3 steps to batching, and I have not heard it taught this way before, but I realized I had been taught batching many times and never found it effective, and I figured out why that was, because I didn't have that actual visual representation of the goal of what the batching was about. So it was very hard for me to think about what kinds of emails I wanted to make, what kinds of content I wanted to create, because I really didn't have a goal for what I was wanted to sell or grow in the business. So the first step is to identify the goal of your marketing. What service do you want to be doing more of in the next year? So you might want to have all of your content around that. For us, it's eStaging Consultations as a business. We want to continue to grow in 2021, especially with COVID and not knowing. So eStaging is what we spend a lot of time talking about in our social media and in our email marketing. Who do I want to work with more? Is it investors, builders, realtors, sellers? Who is that person that you can be talking to more directly? What do you want to educate your clients about? Are there myths? Are there misconceptions? Are there things you wish they knew about you, your process, your services? Another great question to be answering with your marketing. What do they need to know about you and your business that makes you unique? What are you passionate about? I always talk about being a science, pre-med major and brain science and the psychology of a space, the neuroscience of design. Those are things I'm really passionate about. So I bring that into as much as I can, even these training sessions with you. I love to talk about how our brains and just having a little bit of information about how we operate makes things better. Oh, hey, Patricia, how are you? Awesome. So good to see you guys. So that's the first step for your batching, understanding your content. And I talked about this in a past training about kind of understanding where people are in their phase of awareness of you and your services, and that can also help you if you go back through, I think it was in September. And that would be really important in this step, kind of identifying your goals. Then you want to start gathering your images and inspiration. And I recommend that you do these in separate sessions, because the side of your brain that does the goal setting and the side, your creative side, are really different parts of your brain. So you're pulling on different skill sets. So schedule little different sessions for these. Gathering your images and inspiration. Images can be your own images. They can be from stock photography sites like Hootstock, H-A-U-T-E, stock.co. Hootstock, beautiful, feminine images of office spaces and things like that. You could even purchase something like Lightnary, the presets for your phone, so that you can even take your own pictures with your own cell phone and make them that much more beautiful, so that you can have great images to use in your social media. You can borrow from other people. You can attribute them. I have one student, Missouri, who's on here, who does a beautiful job of this. I don't even know, Missouri, where you find the incredibly gorgeous images that you have that you share on social media, but Missouri shares a lot of beautiful images. She'll ask a question about how you feel about it. Do you like this? Do you like that? Would you rather? You can start creating images like that. The inspiration is, who do you like to follow? What do they talk about? What draws you into their posts? Is it, things about their philosophy behind things? Is it because it's funny and witty? What can you borrow from them? Is it the headlines of their emails? Is it the colors? Start gathering that inspiration, getting a feel for where you want to go with your batching. And then the last thing is, once you've kind of figured out the goal and you've pulled together a library of images and things like that, you can go into a scheduling app like Recurpost or Later or Plan, Plann, or Hootsuite for social media, or you can go for your emails into Aweber, MailChimp, Flowdesk, where you can start just scheduling these things out. So you can make, you can spend a day and knock out 30 days of social media posts and have them all scheduled so that for a month you don't have to think about it. It's like the best. It's so magical. I can't even tell you. It does take a little bit of understanding of the technology, but for most of them are fairly user friendly. In order to set up, upload your images and create your captions and things like that. So do that ahead of time so that you will have a body of work going into the spring, because the goal is, of course, to be booking more clients in the spring, right? So you may get busy. So you want to be spending the time to batch your content and get it rolling out on a really consistent level so that you're really in people's feeds starting in January and February, so that by the time March is rolling around, for those of us who experience winter in the northern hemisphere, or those of us who are have a summer slowdown in your hemisphere, that you can be ready to roll when the real estate market heats back up. So thank you. I tend to forget that I want everything to work right away. Oh, it's so true. And again, this is like I said, it's like a weight loss journey. So much of the action that you take today has a deferred result. And one of the things that separates those that are successful and those that are not is that we are just willing to keep taking the steps. They don't have to be big, ginormous, huge steps. We're just willing to keep stepping one foot in front of the other, like on a, one of those silly Stairmaster things. Like, we just keep taking the steps. And eventually the results begin to pay off. And they, in business too, it can take, years. We can be talking years to begin to see the fruits of your efforts. And so I want to encourage you, if you're feeling like you're in a spot where it's just not coming together fast enough, that you are exactly where you should be. It's exactly normal. It's exactly where you should be. Pretty much every overnight success has been hanging out, working for years to get to that point of overnight success. So keep at it, stay with it, and the consistency will pay off. But you want to make sure that you are doing things that are going to eventually generate revenue, because hiding behind cleaning out your office or your inbox, or even organizing your inventory, it's nice, but it's not at the end of the day what's going to move your business forward. So don't spend too much time in those spaces. So look to your past to see what's worked so far. And where you can lean in more. Create your freebie. And if you've got a freebie that people are not downloading, create something new. Maybe it's not quite right. Maybe there's just something off, and that's really important information to have as well. Or put it in more places. Maybe you're not putting it in front of people so much. Find out if you've got a freebie that's not working. Those are a couple of the reasons why it might not be. A lot of times it's just because you're not putting it out there enough. And the last thing is, start batching your content so that you can make the most of the quieter times in your business, so that when you're busy, you've already gotten a library of content out there, spinning out there for you, or that you can tap into much quicker. You don't need as much brain power. So that's it. Next week, we're going to be talking about the 3 steps to creating your first free offer, and how you can use it. And we'll, dive in deeper. And like I said, if you want to jump start on that, you can download the Profitable Staging Starter Kit at rethinkhomeInteriors.com/kit. I will see you next week, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thanks so much for popping in. Oh, Denise, you arrived. Hi, how are you? And I will be back in my old place. I'll be heading home from my mom's. Don't tell anybody, there's COVID. So anyway, I will see you all next week at 3 p.m. All right, guys, have a great week. Bye.